telescopic observations, confirming it to some degree, not like 100%, but at a degree where it's more than 0% now. It's like up in the 1% and 2% chances that he was right, or more than that actually, maybe.
We got a question for you from Delta KB. They're asking, you mean solar system plasma currents, like
No, Birkeland
regarding those
currents.
giant lightning bolts?
Birkeland, Birkland,
Birkeland currents.
Birkeland currents. They are supposed to be the size of bigger than the universe.
Wow. Yeah, that's it.
And,
It's crazy to imagine. It's like something straight out of a Marvel film.
and it's a lightning. Yes, it's straight out of Marvel. It's a lightning bolt. And some of the images are coming out like a lightning bolt. You can even see some images of Birkeland currents, I think.
Let me look that up real quick because I'm curious to see Birkeland current.
Like smaller ones, inside of our universe, but they're all sizes, these lightning bolts, and they just seem to be spread out all over the place. And we're not anywhere near one, because if we were, we'd be fried to a cinder.
Right.
But
they're kind of like currents
like
that
a
run
bug
energy
that flew
through
too close to the breaker panel.
I see it right
thing.
here. I'm gonna pull this up. So it's like a current that flows energy through one part of the universe to the other.
Energy is going into a scale that you can't fathom. We can fathom the quantum. You cannot fathom the inverse of that quantum scale. I'm telling you, there is no end to the scale of which these energy formations appear. And yeah, for years we thought they were stars because that's all we could think they were.
So that's it right there. I think
I'm building a small universe
is that it?
scale. Okay, let me show you what I'm building really quick.
Yeah, graphic of
Like a
Birkeland
scaled
current.
down universe.
And
Well,
then
that's
the
a
double
graphic.
helix nebula.
That's I don't know what kind of graphic that is, though. Like if it's made out of data from a satellite, or if it's just generated.
I don't know.
From a computer for and an artist behind the computer.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, but they have actual images. It could be from the image, right? From the satellite. Those. What do you call those? The biggest satellite they got out there? It's called
the Hubble.
VL.
Or no, that's a telescope. No, my bad.
VLT or whatever. Sure. Very large telescope. They have a VLT in somewhere in Mexico, I think. They're ground-based lenses that are like 300-foot diameter each. They have like huge lenses, man. You got to imagine that.
I was saying I'm building a small scale universe where black holes start and where they end in white holes, and with the possibility of the magnetic field that affects them. Let me show you what I started with and what the idea is.
Yeah, sure. Okay. If you want, here.
Okay, so I got a box. I built it.
So,
I'm gonna put on all four sides of it images of different galaxies, if you could see that. And I got these little tubes. I'm gonna connect them from here, but when I'm done, you're gonna look at it from here, and you're gonna observe how what connects from one end to the other. One end you're gonna have a white hole, one end you're gonna have a black hole, and it would have a helix rotation. And I think that is how energy is pulled from one side of the universe to the other side, because the density of space. It's like how you have 2 cups of water. If you put a straw between them, they will find an equilibrium. And I think this is what black holes and white holes are. They're a form of balancing out the universe. The density in them. So it's like sucks it from one end and spews it out on the other side, but using the electric magnetic field as the medium of that rotation.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it. I did a small scale paper replica today, but here, I'll show you the small one, but I'm working on a bigger one. Okay, kids, be quiet 1 second. I've got like 5 kids in the house. My friends and my kids and their friends. Okay, so this is what I have. I put little straws. I don't know if you see that. Could you see that? Like this is one
Yes.
end of the universe. Okay.
I think. Oh, turn it a little bit. Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Okay. So this would be one end. This would be like a black hole. That would be like a white one. And matter would come. This would be like space time. This you can see this better. It would be the space time, the distance between them, and this is the other end. Would be another galaxy. You see that? So I think matter goes from one end, gets spewed out to the other. Like, do you see this little white straw? Let's just say it sucks in matter and it throws it out on the other side. You know?
Yeah.
Since it has it rotates the matter, like, you know, because this might be, let's just say this is much denser than this space. So to find an equilibrium between them, that's what it does. You know, it continuously.
Yeah, the more dense section would have more potential, and it would provide its potential to the lesser potential. It would distribute some of its potential to the other side where there's less potential. But that process continues on and on and on, because there is no it's so hard to say. I mean, once you start moving one potential to another side, then the side that the potential moved from becomes the lesser potential.
Yeah, but then it inflates and it moves it to another one and another one, and
right. What I'm saying is, when you move a greater potential to a lesser potential side, the area that had the potential now lacks it.
Yeah, so therefore it would.
So you're creating a perpetual. You're creating a perpetual imbalance just by moving potential.
Yes, and
from one location to another. If all the potential would stop moving,
and that's how we measure like expansion, because we observe it, you know, on another side of the universe, like, oh, that we're, you know, it's expanding, but it's actually shifting the mass from one to another, and then, you know, the rate of expansion slows down.
Potential can't stop moving because it's never been in balance. Because as soon as the first potential was created, there was something that was there that was not potential, and that was in opposition to its existence of being potential. And all of a sudden, as soon as you create a potential, there's everything else has no potential. But you're assuming you're the first potential, right? And then there's no potential anywhere else now, right? You're the first. Right? Well, what's going to happen? You're going to have to deliver some of your potential out to somewhere else, to somewhere where there is none. And they're going to now sense the flow from your potential over to their location. That's going to establish flow. And then your potential is going to drop. Their potential is going to rise. And now the balance is now lost. And it has to find its balance again. And the only form of balance that I can perceive is a singular potential. But that doesn't exist, because as soon as you create a singular potential, there's obviously everything else around the singular potential that has got no potential. So that potential has somewhere to go and lose its potential, which is where the balance is lost, because there's only one potential that creates balance. A singular potential is where the balance is. There is no way to have balance when you have two potentials. Because even if they're identical, even if the two potentials are identical, you can't have balance, because there's
that makes sense, Mike.
There's going to be around those two potentials, just like around that singular potential, there was what? A bunch of nothingness with no potential. So those two potentials now are going to deliver their potentials to the nothingness and give the nothingness potential. And in the process of doing that, their potential does what? It drops. And now the imbalance is created perpetually like that. So as soon as you create balance, imbalance is created. So
sorry, I had to put some like heavy rock.
There was no chicken and egg. It was just the singular potential in the beginning. But that can't.
But what do we derive
like
from
that?
It's
infinitely. It has to change.
The universe will constantly keep on expanding. You know,
you can't have a singular potential for too long. You can have it. I mean, that's, I guess, where the Big Bang Theory comes from.
Right.
That's why the Big Bang was so fast, because it can't last too long. It has to. If there's only one potential in the entire existence of existence, it can't last too long. It has to distribute its potential to the rest of existence that has no potential. It's just the nature of potential. It can't. If there is a space that needs potential and it's there, and it is there, it's called nothingness. It's hard to fathom, but nothingness requires potential, and it can take your
Right.
yeah,
What
you know,
and you're talking
like the black
probably,
hole.
you're-
You know,
Yeah, like just counter space or whatever you would call it, right?
yeah, it's nothingness, but it's
Yeah, nothing.
the
but it
greatest
it's
attractor
the
of
eighth.
potential. It's the
Yeah,
it's
but
the,
it contains
it's the one thing
everything.
that has the
Yeah.
least potential of all the things in space is the nothingness.
Huh.
So,
Well, let's go back to the video. I just wanted to let you,
Yeah,
you know,
super
like explain
draw
some
potential.
stuff and give you both an opportunity to speak your mind on this stuff.
pressure. It's like pressure. It's like a water down the
Right.
toilet. Or,
Yeah,
the
no.
drain.
Fluid dynamics is always what I go back to as a good analogy. But I'm gonna continue with the
Transferring
video
the
and then,
pressure from above. I mean, we think from above to below for that water dynamic, but that's the way we think. But that's perspective. But the pressure moves from above to below from our perspective. But in space, it moves in all directions.
let me hit that. There we go.
Preposterous, and point to the long history of government-funded research into mind reading as proof that their science has merit. In the last 4 decades, there have been persistent, often contradictory rumors and even eyewitness accounts of other alien visitors meeting secretly with military or government officials. But what about today? The Tester Corporation has recently come out with a model kit of Gray, the extraterrestrial life form, and a scale model of the so-called sport model, the UFO Bob Lazar says he studied at Area 51. This UFO kit has quickly become one of the most successful model kits in the history of the company. If the military is, in fact, conducting tests of extraterrestrial spacecraft at Area 51, then where are the alien creators of
Where do I get one of those kits, man? I want to build one of those.
Large bong.
these craft?
Yeah.
In his first TV appearance under the pseudonym Dennis, Bob Lazar was asked if there are living aliens.
Shout
at Area
out to
51.
Walter Bosley
Really
channel.
nervous.
Pretty sure
He
he's
evaded the
got
question
one
by
of those
saying,
craft
quote,
kits.
I really want to steer away from that right now, unquote. In subsequent
Hey,
interviews,
we
however,
got the
he admitted
crypto
catching a glimpse of
alchemist
two
in the
scientists
house.
talking to a strange short figure with long arms.
What's
Bernie?
going on, Bernie?
Always lurking, omnipresent.
We got the Bert and Ernie, the little guys up there with some looks like monoatomic water.
Yes, and some other plasmids growing amongst it. The jar on the right, you can actually see the red state matter growing. And it's crazy because I've got a coil in that one that's completely bright red, like almost glowing red, as if it was hot, but it's completely cold, immersed in room temperature water, and just in this red state that the alchemists talk about, the red and the white. And that's what you see there, the red and the white states.
Wow. Yeah, and I that's a good reminder that Dr. Judy Wood likes to remind all of us that just because something is red, it doesn't necessarily mean it's hot.
And it goes more into like the red, it seems to be hydrogen, and then blue is oxygen. And then it's very fascinating with this red-blue shift, and now them finding supposedly dark oxygen, and then how hydrogen's really all these different isotopes that make up elements in between particles and non-particles. And yeah, you know, it's very, very fascinating, the red-blue color shift aspect of
A
things.
lot of people talk about hydrogen as being the key, right? And even if you look at
Oh, absolutely,
what's his name?
it is.
The Watchmen, right?
Yeah.
Who's the blue dude from the Watchmen? His symbol on his
Being
forehead
he's
is hydrogen.
blue. They're all blue. Why are
He's
these
nuclear man, isn't he?
metaphysical people and entities?
Or Adam.
He's
He's
got-
Adam. His name is Adam, I think. The Atom, ATOM. Is it Mr.
Yeah,
I
Adam?
can't remember, but he's got a hydrogen atom symbol on his forehead.
Yeah, he's Mr. Adam. Or isn't that right? He's Mr. Adam. Yeah.
I don't think it's Adam.
don't think so.
Why can't I think of this?
Something
Been
like
too long,
that.
I
His
gotta
name
rewatch it.
represents the atom.
Dr. Manhattan. That's his name.
There
He's
you
got
go.
he's
Right,
got the
from the
hydrogen
Manhattan
symbol on his
Project,
forehead.
right.
And I remember
That's Stanley. What's his name?
he's
Stanley?
like, why didn't you choose the atom symbol? He's like, well, the hydrogen symbol is more appropriate.
The guy who invented Spider-Man, Stanley. What was his last name? The Marvel Comics writer, Stanley.
Stan Lee. Yeah.
Stan Lee. There you go, Stan Lee. I was saying Stanley.
Oh, Stan. It's okay.
What was his last name? No, Stan Lee.
It's okay. All right, let's go back.
He also reported seeing several documents that seemed to contain
Right back, guys.
first-hand information on alien civilizations.
Lazar is skeptical of a claim made by Falcon that a group of EBEs have been given complete control of a separate base within Dreamland. But he does admit having read a report of a tragic misunderstanding between military personnel and alien beings in the late 70s. Lazar states that it had to do with bullets the MPs were carrying, and that the bullets might explode, possibly due to a field the aliens had generated in that area. This encounter supposedly resulted in the deaths of all the humans involved by head wounds.
But if there was ever a large-scale alien presence at Area 51, Lazar saw no evidence of it doing his work at S4 in the late 80s.
I think that's
Is it possible that the deadly misunderstanding of 10 years earlier brought human-alien cooperation to an end?
In his September 21, 1987 speech to the UN General Assembly, President Reagan himself did little to dispel the notion that this deadly misunderstanding brought human-alien cooperation to an end.
In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Are the inconsistencies between various tales coming out of Area 51 evidence that these stories are lies? Or are the discrepancies the result of an intentional campaign of disinformation designed to discredit any elements of truth that may be reaching the public?
If so, how does Victor fit into the jigsaw puzzle of questionable witnesses to the alien presence at Area 51? Is he a hoaxer, a government dupe, or a frightened whistleblower with the hard evidence to back up his story?
I made it very clear to Victor that his credibility was the entire issue here, and that everybody's going to think this is a hoax, and that how are they going to possibly verify this? What he said was, you can do anything you want in terms of verify it. Any type of due diligence, he will answer whatever questions put forward. We could do whatever type of checking. We could bring in experts. We could have the tape tested. We could, in fact, he encouraged all of these aspects. He just did not want his face and his real name revealed.
At Coleman's insistence, Victor agreed reluctantly to appear on camera, but only in disguise, in shadow, and with his voice electronically altered. The questions were agreed upon in advance, but during the actual interview, the discussion occasionally deviated from Victor's approved questions.
What is your occupation at Area 51?
I won't answer that. I have had reason to be present at Area 51, but I'm not going to clarify whether or not I was there as an employee.
Are you saying you were there as a visitor?
I'm not going to specify why or in what capacity I was there, only that I was there.
Can you tell us how many times you were there?
When I agreed to this, my fundamental ground rule was that I would not be asked to divulge personal data that might help pinpoint my identity. If you continue to ask questions that are out of bounds, I won't hesitate to terminate this interview.
Are you saying that the number of times you were present at Area 51 is enough to pinpoint your identity?
Any specifics will narrow the field of suspects. Of course, I could lie. Let's say I've been there 47 times, or anyway, more than once.
Let's turn to the tape itself. The copy you've supplied is not the original tape.
No.
Was the original at Area 51 when you copied it?
That's out of bounds.
Is it fair to assume that the copying of tapes at Area 51 is heavily restricted?
You can assume anything you like. I would say that's a fair assumption. That's obvious.
They stopped the stream on the live.
I will say that this tape was copied under special circumstances. Otherwise, copying it would have been impossible.
He said what?
Your stream got banned. I think we got banned or whatever, flagged or something. They stopped the stream.
Oh, dang.
What is it? You think it's the UFO stuff or what?
I don't know.
Or did I say something?
Honestly.
I must have said something.
we might have to switch the content and boot the stream back up, but it's still going on Rumble.
Well, how about that?
Yeah, Rumble's still going. So maybe we'll just continue this on Rumble. I don't know. Let me take a look real quick and see what it said. Because this all falls under fair use, you know. It doesn't make any sense why we're getting flagged.
Did somebody say the C word? Oh, I said Corona. I did. Yeah. That's probably what it was, man. That's crazy.
You're not supposed to say that?
I guess that's what I heard.
No, YouTube has been getting really strict with this stuff, and they're only going after the smaller channels, it looks like, because I see people using this fair use all the time who don't get flagged.
I might have cussed once. I think I could do it. I did cuss once. Wow.
I don't know if that would. You think that could have?
Yeah.
I'm taking a look right now. I'm seeing what it says.
Well, I don't know. I don't think
it's
one
still live,
time, but because I know a guy whose channel got banned. His name was Enki. He was doing like energy things with Transformers.
Mhm.
He was cussing like every 3 seconds, forever. I was always
I see a lot of people cussing on live stream, and they don't get demonetized or anything. Let me.
This
I'm
guy
gonna
really
remove
cussed.
this.
He was like pushing it, like you couldn't believe.
Somebody in the comments is asking if we watched APEC a lot, and yeah, we did. Does that have
Yes, we
anything to
did.
do with it?
I don't know. Maybe somebody flagged my channel. I'm gonna see crypto's still going. Crypto's channel is still going. So we're gonna continue to go. I'm gonna investigate this, but since we're still going on Rumble, I'm gonna suggest that Bernie, you cut off your YouTube and put on your Rumble if you have a
Did his
Rumble.
YouTube stream stop? I don't know. Is he streaming it?
No, it didn't stop, but I don't want him to get flagged or anything.
Let me see.
I don't see a flag. Hold on. It said it was still going under my settings.
Let me check.
Well, let's see here. I don't know. That was weird.
Mm-hmm. No removal requests.
No, you're still going on his channel. That's weird. Your
Mhm.
channel wasn't going.
No restrictions. It didn't get flagged. It just said policy violation and it ended it, but
Yeah,
that's so weird.
It ended the stream, right?
But it didn't say it violated anything. You know, you get a copyright thing.
I don't know. I just thought I'd let you know.
Yeah, no, that's good. I appreciate that. What I'm gonna do is
Wherever it
keep an eye on
ended,
that.
that's probably something to do with it right around there. You gotta look at the video.
I don't see it.
Well, I'm gonna give it a day, and if it doesn't give me any kind of flag or restriction or violation, then I'm just gonna delete this on YouTube and keep it up on Rumble. But yeah, that's weird, right?
Well,
Usually
they
you
didn't
would
tell
get a
me
flag.
why. They didn't tell me why they ended my stream the other day. I figured it out because they ended it right where I had the Frankenstein video playing, the old black and white.
Oh, they didn't flag you though?
No, they just ended the stream.
Oh, they didn't give you a strike? Okay, that makes sense. So maybe that's what happened. So you didn't get any kind of flag or strike. You just got your stream ended.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. So we're
But
gonna
I played
continue
the
this
whole
on
clip.
Rumble.
You know, it was the whole clip of the. It was the entire clip. That's why.
Oh yeah, let me put the Rumble in.
I think you probably played a whole clip of one of these videos. When you do that, they shut you down.
Yeah,
can't
that's
play
why I was trying to pause it as much as possible, you know,
Yeah,
and
that's right. I think that's what it is.
This will serve as a good experiment that we cannot actually do that.
Not everything you're playing
So-
is fair use, but you can use it as long as you don't play a full scene.
It's subjective. Yeah, you're right. It's subjective. And you want to try to cut as much as possible to commentary and stuff. And just leaving it on a little bit too long, like I did, you know.
Something you're using isn't fair use. If everything is, then you won't have any problem, you know.
Well, it's an automated system. So, I mean, the problem with these automated systems is since this stuff is subjective, they really need a human to look at that
Well,
and say, oh, yeah,
also,
this really does.
so what YouTube does afterwards when it runs it through and it strikes certain things, like if it's accidentally copyrighted, it then gives the option to it edits out the song or the clip for you to then let the video be remonetized, sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah,
Or you can dispute it. And I've just successfully disputed some that, you know, using the fair use.
Absolutely. If it's
yeah.
fair use, 100%. But if it's just like music that like was supposedly copyright free, but then does fall under copyright and stuff, then it's like just remove song features pretty easy.
Right. Exactly. And since the automated system, like it picks up, I notice it picks up a lot of stuff and then it'll like incorrectly flag you. Like if the fair use, it'll pick up a lot of
that's what
fair
we
use
don't
violations.
want. That's what we don't want.
So
what would happen if you just restart the stream on YouTube?
I'm not gonna do that because it's still going on Rumble, and I think this serves as a good experiment on what we can and can't get away with on Rumble. So I think from now on we do these like and Bernie, you were saying this the other day that Rumble and a couple other platforms were better for doing these kind of commentaries.
Rumble, X even, but I got to get a monetized account now to be able to stream to it. Pain in the ass, but then I guess I will be monetized, so better in the algorithms. Stuff I'm looking into, and we're also I've got it streaming to my Facebook too, right? So it's like we're seeing what is allowed on all platforms and what gets striked and what sort of free speech they truly allow us.
Right. Well, that's kind of unfortunate. I hope I don't get flagged for that. Honestly, I'm not monetized right now because
I think it's because you played a whole clip from start to finish, you know, on one of these videos. And that's what
it could have been. It could have been a lot of things.
We always have to pause them, and like for fair use, you have to pause a video
around,
and
you know?
and talk about.
No, that's what we were saying. I let it play a little bit too long,
right?
You know, and that's like, how do you tell like how long? Like maybe
30 seconds,
maybe like
you
3
got 30
minutes.
seconds. From what I read,
30
it was
seconds.
Like, it depends how old the media is. If it's
no, it could be like 5 minutes sort of things.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, if it's old media, you could play it the whole thing. If it's over 10 years old and it's not copyright or whatever, you can play the whole thing. So it's not like 1984. Or
I wonder if you change.
It's whether it has copyright like on it or if it's free and open fair use. And it's like 90% of videos on YouTube are fair use, like open, but then there's like the 10% that are dicks and copyright it and then frickin' cause all sorts of issues with it.
What if you put it through a voice modulator and change the tone of their voice?
I sped it up.
Look, idea.
I've tried a couple of tricks, and using if you actually have a clip that you apply your own music, like copyright free music over, like through StreamYard, it might be enough to trick the system, and because it's looking for that WAV file, right? It's analyzing not the video necessarily, but the WAV file.
So it's like you play it at 1.1 speed and have like an overtone.
And that's what I tried. Right? Yeah, I tried to do here, but yeah, I didn't do it fast enough. Maybe it was like 1.25, but maybe I should have sped it up a little bit. I don't know, but enough to trick the algorithm so it doesn't auto flag it. But either way, I don't think I'm going to risk it on YouTube at this point. We'll just do Rumble and Twitch, like you said. Yeah, and I don't know. Did you want to kick off your YouTube, or did you want to continue this?
You know what? I'll just stream it to my channel. I'm going to stream this to my channel right now.
Yeah, we've been streaming to my channels for like an hour.
That's why I'm asking. You want to switch to something else? Because I don't want to get you flagged.
Alien.
No, it's all good. It doesn't matter.
If it's probably because you used the word
alien. Flags, they just move it to members, and it's no issue.
Well, you know what I can do? There's the audio book, and I really
Let's
wanted
find
to
out.
take a look at some of the chapters in the
Let's see if
audio
they shut
book.
me down. I'm gonna stream to my
They
channel.
shut you down?
No, I'm gonna start
Yeah,
streaming this to my channel with the
man.
title "The Alien Interview."
Let's look
Maybe it's the word alien.
into alien freaking conspiracies tonight. Go for it. The name of the title, right? Whatever you got, let's do it.
It could be the word "alien" in the title of the stream.
Bernie, are the rules different for YouTube in Canada than the United States, or is it all the same?
But Bernie's
I
still going.
think it's pretty much all the same, except for when it comes to getting paid, and then it's like the American government takes like another 30% from us on top of YouTube.
Yeah, you should
so
be able
we
to
only
see it
get
on my channel now,
40%.
Ben.
Oh God, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, we get peanuts. Man, I just had this. Where was it? Oh, you know what? I can pull it up here.
The alien interview. That's why they shut down the stream. You had the word "alien" in there.
Those jerks.
Maybe you should rename it and call it the visitor video, the visitors video, or something like that. Out of space visitors video.
Is that the first time they
Well,
shut down your
that
stream?
power is greatly misguided to protect mankind.
I'm trying to find that on YouTube. I have it downloaded. I'm trying to find it on YouTube so I can get the chapters. Where was the link? Copy link address. There we go. Should be it.
I got a link in there in the private chat for you from Trance Music, from a YouTube channel.
You said what?
Some good music I found on the YouTube, electronic music, royalty free.
Oh, nice. I'll have to take a look at it. Thank you. I like that electronic music you were playing.
There are a number of compelling and heretofore
Okay, so here we have all the chapters, and there's a couple of things that I wanted to take a look at. Let me zoom in so you guys can see. A lesson in ancient history, a timeline of events, religion, double speak, tree of life.
That's so funny.
What?
Religion, double speak. To have that in the same sentence. That's kind of funny.
Anything look interesting that you think we should jump into?
Yeah, the religion double speak one. What's that?
Okay.
school notebook paper, which I assumed had been written personally by Mrs. McElroy. 2, notes typed on a manual typewriter on plain white 20-pound bond paper, which I am assuming were prepared personally by her. At least both had the appearance of having been written in the same handwriting and or typed in the same typewriter consistently throughout. The writing in the notes I received also appeared to be the same as the writing on the address and return envelope of the manila envelope I received from Navan, Ireland, which was postmarked on September 3rd, 2007. Since I am not a forensic expert or handwriting analyst, my opinion in these matters is not a professionally qualified judgment. 3, many types of typewritten transcriptions of her interview with the alien. These were obviously typed on a different typewriter. These pages were typed on a different type of paper and showed apparent signs of age and repeated handling. None of these notes were assembled in any particular order or by date except were indicated by a sentence or paragraph of preamble or explanation by her or by extrapolation from the context of the pages. Voltaire is quoted as having said, History is a Mississippi of lies. According to the comments made by the alien in the interview transcript supplied by Mrs. McElroy, the fundamental lesson of history is that many, many gods have become men, but very few men, if any, have returned to being a god again. According to the alien being Errol, if anything he, she, or it supposedly communicated can be trusted, and if the translation or interpretation of this alleged communication is accurate, the history of this universe is a river of lies, down which the might and freedom of all-powerful godlike immortal spiritual beings ended and was lost in a sea of matter and mortality. Furthermore, according to the very direct and undiplomatic statements made, which seem to express the personal opinion of the alien, if one were traveling the far reaches of the universe in search of a place called Hell, it would be an accurate description of Earth and the inhabitants in its current condition. To further
Wow, the alien straight up called Earth hell. What? WTF? I mean,
yeah, well, that's funny.
Cheers,
the Catholics
right?
call it
They
that,
have
too.
a point. They have a point on that.
they
one.
do. They do.
The
I'm not gonna
Catholics-
lie. It's kind of depressing.
The Catholics say, heaven and hell exist here on earth.
Yeah. No, that's a good point, Mike. That's a very good point. I don't
That's
know.
their belief.
I don't know. It's interesting. I think I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break and go to the bathroom real quick. And I don't know. I don't want to leave this playing. So if you guys have anything to discuss or present, just feel free. I'm gonna take a quick 5-minute.
Play that music in the private chat.
Yeah, the music. Okay, I'll load it up right now. We can all
That's some good
party
stuff.
hardy.
I'm
Well,
so
I
happy
really
I
like
found
the
it.
techno music you were playing.
Only thing is, that guy's channel, he makes great music, but most of it has that same awesome beat, though. You know how they do that sometimes, musicians. They use that same type of thing.
You said it's royalty free.
Yeah, it's royalty free.
This is the stuff that you've been streaming, huh?
Sorry, I'm still also participating in the APEC backstage discussion going on, so I'm back and forth here. My apologies.
No, you're good. Let me just make sure. It doesn't say royalty free.
It is.
Oh, yeah. All content in this sample pack is 100% royalty free. Oh, no. Once purchased, you can use these sounds with your own commercial music with no restrictions. I don't know if I can do that because I'm monetized. Yeah, I'm monetized. It's like they penalized me for logging into the wrong AdSense account, but it wasn't like any kind of strike or anything. I got penalized for 30 days, but I am monetized.
Wild, hey?
Yeah, so I accidentally signed into, you clear your cache and cookies and your password. You got to log in again, and I accidentally logged into the wrong email for my AdSense, and it created a new one, and it's like, oh, well, you have two. Now we're going to shut you down. I'm like, what? No? What? That was an accident. Yeah, but I mean, I guess apparently it's common. They're just, they suck. You suck.
Any excuse to ding you down one, right? Just take you down one.
Right. Well, I mean, at the very least, the music in StreamYard should be safe, right? So I'll play this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna take a quick 5-minute break, and I'll be back, guys. You guys feel free to discuss anything you want to or present anything you want to.
So what does that mean? You can't use it because he's monetized. But it's a
Yeah,
sample
you have to purchase it, then you can use it. So if you're not monetized, you could probably use it and get away with it. But then once you start making money off of it, you have to buy a license.
But it said the sample pack was royalty free. Isn't that the link I sent you? Is the sample pack?
Yeah, and honestly, I've seen that before because I was doing the same thing before I went to go to Motion Array, and Motion Array is what I've been using for all my licensed content regarding music. That and
Why do they
YouTube
complicate
Studio.
things? Just
I know it's so complicated.
It's royalty free as soon as you buy it one time. Is all. That's all. So that's probably you got to buy it one time, then you could use it all you want.
Yeah, but if you're gonna buy this one time, and that one time, and that one time, and that,
Well,
it's
this track is 3 hours long. This sample pack. So you buy this 3-hour sample pack one time, and you use it all you want. It's royalty free if you're not monetized. You don't have to buy it. But if you are, you got to buy it, and you can use it all as many times as you want without paying twice for it. You just pay once. So that makes it royalty free because you only have to pay for it once.
Yeah, but what if you get bored of it? You want something else?
Well, I don't know. It's 3
Take
hours.
a variety.
It's pretty good. I think the beats are good. Really good beats. But
Did you send it? Did you send it to me?
I don't know. It's in the private chat.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
And I looked at his channel, and most of the music is, the melodies and the audio, the tones are different, but the beat is similar. You know how musicians do that a lot. So I probably am not going to buy too many tracks from him.
I already listened to the yeah,
but
no,
it's
I
awesome.
already
The
listened to his
overall.
channel. I have it. I'm subscribed to it. Yeah, Speed Sound. Yeah, I love this channel.
Yeah, you could listen to it for a few hours, once a week. I don't think every day though. I like to switch it up on the music.
Me too. I follow a bunch of different, music channels, like electronic music. I love it. It gives me energy.
There's a lot of good ones out there.
Yeah.
Electronic music on YouTube and just wherever. Most of it's on YouTube, but
my music starts like literally at like 8:30.
Euro Nation. Gotta go to Euro Nation.
Yeah, I think I heard of them. Yeah, they're good too. Yeah, the Europeans make really good electronic music. Yeah, probably the best. The Germans, Berlin. I've been to Berlin. That place is full of. All they do is blast, electronic music that you've never heard before. Like the kind of stuff you've never heard before.
The good stuff.
every bar is like the wall. The width of the entrance is like a door or whatever, but the width of the whole place is like 15 feet wide by,
Amsterdam.
60
Amsterdam.
feet deep.
In Amsterdam,
with
they have the
30-foot
best music.
ceilings though, tall ceilings.
What is it called? Hidden Nazi bunkers.
Yeah, they just
Old
make a
brick.
bar out of every place in the centers over there, a bar, and they blast electronic music, and every place is playing like it's a different type of electronic music. It's pretty interesting. I'm not an I like to play the real instrument. I'm in favor of that as regarding music, but in the long run, that's where I end up with music, with the real instrument, But
Yeah.
in the short run, I'm impressed with electronic music. As a musician, I'm impressed. It's good stuff. Compared to the rock that's been coming out lately, I'm not going to listen to
Listen to this
You know?
band called Polynesia or something, and
Yeah.
they're a rock band, but they like play the electric guitar. My
I mean,
God,
some of what's her name? Taylor
really,
Swift?
really good.
Some
Long
of Taylor
time ago.
Swift is okay. It's quality music. But
I don't like
it's-
music with words. Once
but
they
a
have
lot of
words,
it's-
it ruins it.
a lot of it's fanfare. It's like cartoonish, music.
Somebody
And
in the comment is asking me, do I like hip hop abduction? I've never heard of it, but sounds interesting.
like what was the other female artist? He did that all them songs. You're like a firework or whatever was her name, Katy Perry. It's similar to Taylor Swift music. It's all to hype up the fanfare, kind of music. It's not for the music, it's for the fans. It's not for the music, it's for the fans. So the music is not written for the music, it's written for the fans. If you see what I'm saying. It's written to attract the fans, what they want to hear, the beats or whatever that they want to hear, but when music is
Okay,
written for the music, it's a
listen.
whole different thing.
Okay, listen to this band. It's called Polyphia. Polyphia.
Put a link.
I can't. If some
Oh,
for
you're on
some
the
reason
phone.
I can't. Yeah,
Spell that
it's,
again.
it's, I
P-O
can't.
what?
Polyphia. Yeah, and put the song "Playing God." It's one of the most mesmerizing guitar music that you could ever hear. Or just search YouTube "Playing God" and you'll see it.
I have a couple of tracks that I released on Reverb Nation. They're nothing good, but you guys are welcome to listen to them if you want.
Nice. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So we're talking about
You
music.
can't beat that. Real musicians can beat electronic music if they want to. That's all I'm saying.
If you want to listen to really good electronic rock and psychedelic music, listen to Voyage 34 by Porcupine Tree.
That's some good stuff, Polyphia. They're
Yeah, really good stuff. I know. And there's another one. His name is Lee McKinney. He also plays like good guitar music.
You heard of Matteo Mancuso?
No.
Okay, hold on. I'll post a link in the private chat. I don't want any banning going on here in the stream, but he's a young guitar player, amazing.
But do check out the Lee McKinney. He's also on another level.
Okay. Check the private chat.
You see that?
Lee what? McKinney?
Immortality.
Lee McKinney?
McKinney. Okay.
What is it?
Ooh, I found a good chapter that we can listen to. Give me 1 second and I'll load it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys have any suggestions for music, feel free to put them in the chat. We can't listen to them on stream, obviously, but you know, I'll check them out for sure. I don't know. You guys like the lo-fi or the lo-fi music in the background, or?
Yeah, I'm down with lo-fi. Can we see if there's some that's got like the binaural beats added in, or some of the solfeggios, potentially, right?
It only has a couple of options here. So it only has like a handful of options, and it has an add music option for adding your own.
Fair enough.
If you have a track, I can add it. I can search Motion Array.
Another channel is called Sumerian Records. Also, they play really good music.
So, yeah, all this is good music, but of my favorite right now, that's Greg Howie. He's off the chain, dude. He's well known.
Not seeing any on Motion Array. Anyways, they got a chapter on Nikola Tesla here that I wanted to listen to. I guess the alien had some information apparently on Nikola Tesla and the evolution of our species.
Let's hear it.
View, Chapter 11, A Lesson in Science. Matilda O'Donnell McElroy, personal note. The transcript of this interview is verbatim. There's nothing more I can add to it. It says everything. Official transcript of interview, top secret. Official transcript of the U.S. Army Air Force, Roswell Army Airfield, 509th Bomb Group. Subject, alien interview, July 29, 1947, first session. Today, Errol told me some very technical things. I took a few notes to remind myself so I can repeat what she said. As closely as possible. She began with an analogy about scientific knowledge. Can you imagine how much progress could have been made on Earth if people like Johannes Gutenberg, Sir Isaac Newton, Benjamin Franklin, George Washington Carver, Nikola Tesla, Jonas Salk, and Richard Trevithick, and many thousands of similar geniuses and inventors were living today? Imagine what technical accomplishments might have been developed if men like these never died. What if they were never given amnesia and made to forget everything they knew? What if they continued to learn and work forever? What level?
Our world would be completely different. Completely different. That's for sure.
Of technology and civilization could be attained if immortal spiritual beings like these were allowed to continue to create in the same place at the same time for billions or trillions of years. Essentially, the domain is one civilization that has existed for trillions of years with relatively uninterrupted progress. Knowledge has been accumulated, refined, and improved upon in nearly every field of study imaginable and beyond imagining. Originally, the interaction of ISB illusions or inventions created the very fabric of the physical universe, the microcosm and the macrocosm. Originally, the interaction of ISB illusions or inventions created the very fabric of the physical universe, the microcosm and the macrocosm. Every single particle of the universe has been imagined and brought into existence by an ISB. Everything created from an idea, a thought, with no weight or size or location in space.
Not sure what they're referring to here by ISB. It must be some kind of context referred to previously in the audiobook. This is quite a bit of the way through the audiobook. We're not going through the whole 4 hours, obviously.
Speck of dust in space from the size of the tiniest subatomic particle to the size of a sun or Magellanic to the size of a sun or a Magellantic cloud, the size of many galaxies, was created from the nothingness of a thought. Even the tiniest individual cells were contrived and coordinated to enable a microbial entity to sense and navigate through infinitesimally small spaces. These also
You know what? I think it might be a better idea if I just read this myself. And that way we can just safeguard ourselves from further scrutiny. You and every ISB on Earth have participated in the creation of this universe, even though you are now confined to a fragile body made of flesh. You live for only 65 short rotations of your planet around a star. You have been given overwhelming electric shock treatment to wipe out your memory. You must learn everything all over again each lifetime. In spite of all these circumstances, you are who you are and will always be. And deep down, you still know that you are and what you know. You are still the essence of you. I mean, as beautiful as that sentence is, it does scream to me Scientology, and maybe, I don't know, maybe L. Ron Hubbard borrowed some of his creation origin story from this story. I have no idea. He was a science fiction writer, but that's interesting. But again, I'm still slightly skeptical due to the fact that this is kind of similar to Scientology's origin.
So came from an idea thought up by
How else can one understand the child prodigy, an ISB who plays concertos on a piano at 3 years of age without formal training? Impossible if they did not simply remember what they have already learned from thousands of years spent in front of a keyboard in times untold, or on planets far away. They may not know how they know. They just know. Humankind has developed more technology in the past 100 years than in the previous 2,000 years. Why? The answer is simple. The influence of the old empire over the mind and over the affairs of mankind has been diminished by the domain. I guess the domain is something else referred to in the book as well that we do not have context of at this point.
Concertos on a piano.
A renaissance of invention on Earth began in 1250 AD with the destruction of the old empire, space fleet in the solar system. During the next 500 years, Earth may have the potential to regain autonomy and independence, but only to the degree that humankind can apply the concentrated genius of the Isbis on Earth to solve the amnesia problem. However, on a cautionary note, the inventive potential of the Isbis who have been exiled to this planet is severely compromised by the criminal elements of the Earth population, specifically politicians, warmongers, and irresponsible physicists who create unlimited weapons such as nuclear bombs, chemicals, diseases, social chaos. These have the potential to extinguish all life forms on Earth forever. And this is another common theme that we see playing out and unfolding within our very eyes. You know, our macroeconomic system is specifically holding us back. You know, buying the politicians, you know, fueling the warmongers, and backing the irresponsible physicists. Even the relatively small explosions that were tested and used in the past 2 years on Earth have the potential to destroy all life if deployed in sufficient quantities. Larger weapons could consume all the oxygen in the global atmosphere in a single explosion. Therefore, the most fundamental problems that must be solved in order to ensure that Earth will not be destroyed by technology are social and humanitarian problems. The greatest scientific minds on Earth, in spite of mathematical or mechanical genius, have never addressed these problems. And this is another thing that we address on this channel specifically, is the forbidden science of analyzing capitalism's internal contradictions, which is the main key in understanding how, the constraints regarding the suppression of technology, the corruption of politicians and government, and why government specifically doesn't work for the people.
No, but at least in this country, the United States, it's of the people, even if it doesn't work.
Gentlemen, I gotta go. If I have an emergency, my car's not starting. Gotta figure it out.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the lights and everything starts, but I think it's the ignition key's not starting, and the starter. And I gotta solve it because I've got
Is it fully in park? Sometime if it's not fully in park, make sure that's.
No, it is, but here, let me show you what it's doing.
Or the wheel. Sometimes you have to lock the wheel a little bit.
I don't know. Here, no, let me get in the car. There's something wrong with it. It's
not turning over at all.
Here, let me show you guys. Okay. Can you see me? Okay, this is the dashboard. I start it, and it just won't start.
Then you got a large size.
The relay on your starter is stuck. The trick for that is you tap the starter with a wrench. I did that for like a year and a half on one truck I had.
Well, I'll come back on if I can fix it.
Well, if you know where the starter is, you could tap it with a wrench. You know,
my oldest daughter's coming with her boyfriend. He's a welder. Maybe
Oh.
he might know how to like
There you
fix
go.
it. Yeah. I'll come back on if I can get it.
All right.
We wish you luck.
Gotta take care of the car, man. That's the
Yeah. No, that's key. I mean, you know, my girlfriend's car, you know, the alternator went out, and it's, you know,
sounds
it's,
like
it's
the
really
alternator
hard.
here too.
Yeah, and it's really hard, you know, when you don't have transportation.
Yeah, I mean, only in the United States, the government. I mean, I don't know about Canada, but in the United States, the government's of the people. It's
Right.
made- it's
Well,
comprised of the people.
and this is just my
Their
take on
names,
everything,
you know,
and
the
I
government
know
workers are public information.
I know a lot of people don't agree with me, and that's cool, you know. But my specific opinion on this is it doesn't matter what government you're dealing with, as long as you're organizing labor under capitalism, how capitalism organized labor with a small group in control of the means of production, you're always going to have a system where that small group buys the
Yeah, they use
political
money
system.
to do that. They bribe.
Right. So until you have economic democracy,
That's in
you
every
can never have
government.
political
You can't get away from
democracy.
that. That's fueled by greed in all governments. I mean, if there's greed anywhere in the population, it's going to get into any system you create.
But there is a theory that I have, and that specifically is when the workers actually own the means of production, you know, that doesn't happen. You don't see that level of
Say that
corruption.
again. That's I've heard that phrase before. That's a Teamsters thing, isn't that? Is that like a
I mean, unions play part
union? The
in
union
that,
stuff?
but I'm specifically talking about advocating for businesses like Beneficence TV. When we expand, if we expand, we're going to be a worker cooperative, meaning the workers own the means of production. We
Right.
get together democratically
It's a
and
lot
make
like
the decisions.
farmers. That's a lot like farmers. How they
Right.
co-op their fields, right? Yeah.
It's a co-op, and it's run democratically, where each worker gets one share, one vote, basically, and we share responsibilities, and it's more efficient. And honestly, if you
What-
have more of a system
Where has
like
that
that, it
ever
doesn't lead
existed?
to
Where has it ever existed? I mean, in the United States, everybody gets a vote, right? Not that everybody's using it, so we kind of have that same system here, right? Even though nobody's not doing it, you know, not everybody's voting, right? But if you
I
were
mean,
in a
the-
co-op that everybody voted in, you know, and voting was
we do have-
mandatory, then it would work.
They are catching on. They're catching on for sure. And we do have examples of very successful co-ops like the Mondragon Corporation, which is the third largest corporation in Spain. They're a multi-conglomerate. You know, Microsoft and GM both send their teams over to learn from them. They're so good and efficient at what they do. But the whole point is to level the playing field. And when you have a system that's where you have to redistribute wealth because there's such a unfair distribution of it, you have to think, oh, where's that distribution happening? It's happening in wages and in your salary, right? Where you have a small group in control of all those financial decisions who aren't actually contributing to the means of production, right? But the larger group who actually produce do not get what they produce. They're
Right. What
producing.
you're referring to is specifically the wealthy, not the rich, not the middle class, not the upper class. You're referring to the wealthy. These are the class, I guess you call them a class, that don't utilize money.
Right.
They're wealthy. They own a lot of shit, stuff. You know? And
Right.
so they're
in
wealthy.
a system where
But
you
they
say
hold title. They hold title to land and stuff. You know? Like
right, they own capital.
the British Prince Charles or whatever.
But the problem with
The
giant
royalty, these
systems-
monarchies, they still have all the title to all these lands. So
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, that's a point that I make. We escaped feudalism, right? Only to establish it here in little tiny, kingdoms.
I mean,
Mike
define
Zuckerberg.
what is feudalism to you?
So feudalism is where you have a monarchy, right? You have a king and his court who
So
basically
it's his way or the
own-
highway, basically.
right. It's an authoritarian type
So that's
of
feudalism.
system.
Okay. Well,
Mhm.
we do
And we
kind of have that here
transitioned
today,
to
don't we?
yeah, we transitioned from feudalism from slavery to feudalism from slavery, and then we transitioned to capitalism. We overthrew
You can go to
feudalism.
court. You can argue the statutes all you want, but the judge is going to just, in the end, trump you.
Right. But I mean, capitalism was the next step. Obviously, it took us this far, but you know, like any other system before it, it's going to succumb to its internal contradictions. And these internal contradictions are
The best chance you have
considered
against a judge in this country is saying not guilty. As soon as you say no contest, you are going the highway, their way.
But my
Not-
point is,
you know.
but my point is, these internal contradictions will always lead to an outcome where the system implodes in on itself. And until we address these internal contradictions, we're always going to have a system where basically we're slaves. And that's what we are when we work for a wage. You know, you
Well,
have no
the best
say
way
in
to
what you
end-
do.
The best way
you
to
know?
end slavery is
You
with
go to work
education.
and it's an authoritarian, you know, you go to work and you're told what to do. You have no say, you know?
Well, Ben, if you look at these fifth world, third world countries that run slaves today, the way they do it is by depriving them of education. That's how they keep these human beings
Yeah.
dumbed down
And it's
and under
you
control.
you see that play out in different scales too within our system too. You know, it's a system ensuring the conditions of its own existence is what I like to call it.
They
and
keep you from the education and they
Mhm.
keep you under control. So the
And
best
listen,
thing
this
you
is-
can do to fight is educate yourself for one.
exactly, Mike. And you know, it's crazy because a lot of people don't even realize that
They don't want
capitalism
you
ensure-
educated, you know. No, not
But
the,
listen-
not the power drivers, the ones that are
right.
stuck on controlling everything.
But
Those
listen,
guys
this
don't
is the
want
most-
you educated.
This is the most important part. Capitalism obscures its own definition to ensure the conditions of its own existence. And what do I mean by that? I mean that we all think that capitalism is a system of free markets and
Yeah, but
private
I don't
property.
think the wealthy play into
that's-
capitalism. I don't think that.
But listen. Right. That's besides the point. Just listen to what I have to say. The definition of capitalism isn't free markets and private property. When you define something, you have to define what's different about it, right? What's different about capitalism is the way labor is organized with a small group in control of a large group who produce, right? A small group who don't produce in control of a large group who do
like
produce.
CEOs and stuff.
Right. And it's also the individual private ownership of tradable shares of stock. right?
Y'all
Those are-
got way off alien interview topic, by the
Right.
way.
Yes, we got way off on this
Well, I
table.
think where Ben's heading is that the capitalism is
Way-
controlled by aliens.
You're like triggering all the chat, getting into political stuff, and you know, like let's get back to the aliens, man. Come
I think Ben is convinced that our government is taken
it's
over
technically-
That's right, but I got to go as the wife finally called and is on her way home, so I've got to get over to her place, but I can leave her streaming if you're going back into the alien stuff. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just explaining to Mike my background, right, and how I perceive
fair enough.
everything, and how the forbidden science of political economy is also important and relevant. That's all. Because it does, it keeps us, it holds us back. Our
political
technology
economy,
has been
when you put it like
suppressed.
that, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's something that a lot of people miss. It's part of the missing piece of the whole picture, in my opinion. And a lot of people might disagree, and that's cool. You know, I'm cool with that. I'm used to people arguing with me.
When you say the political economy, you're saying this economy that's political is trading in the hidden science or not trading in the hidden science?
It's just the way we do things is suppressing the technology. That's all I'm saying.
So they are trading in the
Hey,
hidden science.
I'm gonna end it on my Crypto Alchemist YouTube channel, but I'm gonna keep it going on my Burn Eye YouTube channels, and I'll leave this camera up and going with you because I gotta go. But yeah, so I'll still leave it live on my one channel, but just remove it on the other.
No, you're good. Yeah, we're gonna get back
All right,
into
all
this. I'm
right.
gonna read some more chapters.
Much love.